All right, video number 2 for today. It seems to be a lot of discrepancy involved here with this Joshua situation with the zone. And a lot of people are talking about this deal with Anthony Joshua, Eddie Hearn, Match from Sport, and they're saying things like first and last rights refusal. And I understand that in a lot of situations, first and last right refusal means that the party that you have an agreement or an arrangement with will have the right to make an initial bid for a fight. And if they don't want the fight, then they have the right to say, no, we don't want it. You can go shop it around, giving up their last right of refusal. And a lot of people are saying, well, the only reason why this fight with Derek Chisora and Dillian White is on Showtime was because the Zone didn't want it. And okay, I get it. But in regards to this Anthony Joshua situation, um, it gets a little bit hairy here because I want to go to this article that's posted and has original quotes in it from Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua in it. And there are situations in a first and last right refusal arrangement where you're allowed to shop the fight around. You give the person that you have the original agreement with the first right to make a bid on a fight. And in certain situations, there are deals, particularly in the music industry, where yeah, you have an arrangement with a record company, and they will put in a bid for an artist, in terms of making their album or whatever. But the artist has the right to shop around for a better deal. And then that original person that you're dealing with has the right to match that better deal. And if they don't match that better deal, then the artist can go ahead and go with someone else. So I'm wondering, and it seems as though I may be correct here in assuming that Anthony Joshua has that same situation with Zone, because I'm going to read some quotes in this article. And this is very telling here. Okay. And I copied and pasted this article in the description of this video, and you guys can read it. Okay. So here in this article, let me find some of the points here. So Joshua said, that's what I'm doing right now, making moves for the better of my career. DAZN is a good channel to be a part of, and honestly, I believe that. But so is Showtime, and so is HBO, Sky Sports. They're all unbelievable broadcasters, and one day I may have a chance to box on HBO. This was before HBO went out of the business, because I haven't had that chance. There's no love lost. It's not about being loyal. It's about making the right choices in my career, because it doesn't last forever. Okay. So now it goes here to say, you go back to there's a point here. There's a point here that Eddie Hearn said. This is what Eddie Hearn said. So in the end, the Zone proved to be the biggest bidder for Joshua Povetkin. Okay. And Hearn revealed that HBO took part in the negotiations but sent an offer that wasn't close. Showtime did as well, with Espinosa characterizing the bid as certainly aggressive offer, one that ultimately came up short. So if Anthony Joshua was exclusive to the Zone, then why was there bidding for his fight with Povetkin? So Showtime did make a bid for Povetkin and Joshua. Okay, despite the fact that, and here it also said, here's another talking point here in this article. Despite the fact that Joshua headlined the first DAZN card in the U.S., Hearn wouldn't go as far as saying the deal officially closes the door to his fighter ever appearing on Showtime. So Hearn is saying right here that Joshua is not exclusive to the zone. He said, no, not really. I spoke to Steven Espinosa, and he emailed me yesterday here and said, this is not about closing doors, really. This is about a platform that have offered considerably more money than anyone else. This is about a platform that Anthony and I see a future in. It was a good opportunity. How long will Joshua fight on his own? We'll see. So, again, Hearn did not say that Joshua could not ever be on Showtime again. And it doesn't, and he doesn't disclose a deal. He's basically saying that Joshua is a free agent when it comes to the U.S. market here. Okay, this is a major coup for the zone, and certainly the plan is to stay on there and have a long-term relationship. The zone also understands there are opportunities for Joshua with other broadcasters. There may be an opportunity for the zone to link up with another broadcaster on this fight and show the delayed rights to increase Joshua's profile and reach as well. So basically, Hearn is saying that Joshua has the ability to work with other broadcasters. So in terms of Joshua's deal here, if you read this article that has Eddie Hearn quotes in it and Steven Espinosa quotes in it, this is not an exclusive deal that Anthony Joshua has with DAZN. It's not exclusive. Because if this was exclusive, then why was the Povetkin fight being bid on by HBO and Showtime? And Eddie Hearn reveals in this article that DAZN put up the most money for the fight, so that's why it was on DAZN. And Eddie Hearn also revealed that Anthony Joshua does not have an exclusive commitment to DAZN. So he can fight on other networks, according to the quotes in this article. So first and last right refusal, in a lot of situations, yeah, means that the person that you have an agreement with has the right to say, I want the fight or I don't want the fight. If they don't want the fight, then it can be shopped around. But in certain situations, particularly like I said with record companies, if the artist has the right to shop around for the best deal, but the person that has that first and last right refusal in certain situations will have to match the better deal, or they do not get the option to show the fight. So could this be a situation with Joshua? Could DAZN put up an offer for a fight, and then Eddie Hearn can shop Anthony Joshua around to another network, and DAZN can either match or beat that offer in order to get the fight? Is that the situation that he has with Joshua? Because it seems as though that Povetkin fight, like I said, it was bid on. It was bid on by HBO and Showtime as well. That's why in the situation with Canelo Alvarez, they came out and said, yeah, this is an exclusivity deal with Canelo Alvarez. It's not been said that Joshua, has an exclusive deal with DAZN. Doesn't say that here. So let's look at some more quotes here. Okay. So you have to put in the legwork and invested more money in Joshua Wilder will come to fruition with any other networks having broadcast the last 10 Wilder fights and 6 Joshua fights. I believe we will see that fight in the near future, and we should have an opportunity to take part in that. This is a quote from Espinosa. So we have put in the legwork and invested in Joshua Wilder fight come to fruition than any other network having broadcast the last 10 Wilder fights and 6 Joshua fights, Espinosa said. I believe we will see that in the near future, and we should have an opportunity to take part in that. Okay? So if you read this article, it is not clear. There's no information here that states that Anthony Joshua has a commitment to DAZN. Okay? So it leaves the door open. It really does leave the door open here. And we've seen other fighters that fought on DAZN, and they have fought on other networks as well. And Eddie Hearn has said that, you know what? Any fighter that, is under my contract, if they can get a deal fighting on another network for more money, then I'm going to allow that to happen. So this is this. So basically, what the situation is Eddie Hearn has to give DAZN 16 fight cards a year. Okay, he's got to give him 16 fight cards a year. Now, what 16 fight cards they are, who knows? How does that get determined? Who picks and chooses? Does DAZN pick and choose the cards that they want to show from Hearn, or does Hearn have a right to shop those cards around to other broadcasters? Because Maurice Hooker was on his own, and then he was on a Top Rank card. So that's what I'm saying. So this deal is really tricky here. No one, like, with the exception of Canelo Alvarez, I don't think that any of these fighters have long-term deals with DAZN where they're given DAZN exclusivity, because the door is open, according to the quotes in this article, that Joshua could fight on other networks. Hearn said it. He said it right in this article. You guys can open this article and you can go over some of the quotes here. Hearn, I'm going to repeat again. Hearn said, he was asked, despite the fact that Joshua headlined the first DAZN card in the U.S., Hearn wouldn't go as far as saying the deal officially closes the door to his fighter ever appearing on Showtime. Okay, here's the quote from Hearn. No, not really. I spoke to Stephen Espinosa and he emailed me yesterday, Hearn said. This is not about closing doors, really. This is about a platform that have offered considerably more money than anyone else. This is about a platform that Anthony and I see a future in. It was a good opportunity. How long will Joshua fight on DAZN? We'll see. This is a major coup for DAZN, and certainly the plan is to stay on there and have a long-term relationship. DAZN understands that there are other opportunities for Joshua with other broadcasters. There may be an opportunity for DAZN to link up with another broadcaster on this fight and show the delayed rights to increase Joshua's profile and reach as well. So again, this does not mean that Joshua cannot fight on Showtime. And a lot of people were saying that that as long as he's working with DAZN, the fights can't be on Showtime. So if they're going to sit down and make a Wilder fight, to sit there and assume that Showtime will not be involved at all in that, I just don't think that's going to happen. I just don't think that's going to happen. So even DAZN and Eddie Hearn said that they do not have exclusive rights to Joshua. Now, it's not the same. Like, in Joshua fights in the UK and the pay-per-views are being broadcast in the UK, they have to be on Sky. When it comes to the US, as I said, that is not the case. So these fights are not committed to be shown on DAZN. Showtime can still show Joshua fights. There can still be a Showtime pay-per-view between Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. Okay? So I urge everyone to go down and read this article with quotes from Stephen Espinosa and quotes from Eddie Hearn and quotes from DAZN themselves. All three parties are saying that Anthony Joshua is not locked in to fighting on DAZN alone. Okay? So I've been getting in some debates here with some people on the last video I made, and I understand what they're talking about with first and last right refusal, but like I said, there's so many stipulations in first and right last refusal contracts. There's so many different parts of those contracts that can be written in. You can shop around, and the person that you have that deal with, if they don't match or beat the offer that you got when you shopped around, and in a lot of situations, they lose that right. They have to match the offer. If they can match the offer, then yes, they get the fine. It's done all the time in the record business, in the recording artist business. Okay, unless you have exclusive rights in a lot of situations, then if you shop around and get a great deal, the person that has that first and last right refusal has to match that deal in a lot of situations. Not always, but in a lot of situations. And it leads me to believe, after reading this article, that the Povetkin Anthony Joshua fight was shopped around. because HBO did bid on it, and so did Showtime. So that just tells you right then and there that this was not an exclusivity deal between Anthony Joshua and DAZN. And Eddie Hearn also, when asked if it was, said no in this article. He was quoted as saying, no, it is not. No, not really. But for that particular fight, DAZN put up the most money. So according to this article, Anthony Joshua is on a fight-to-fight basis with DAZN. And even DAZN said that in order for a big fight to happen, they would have no problem working with a network like Showtime. They said it right here in this article. They're open to working with other broadcasters. They didn't say Showtime per se, but they said we are open to working with other broadcasters. DAZN also understands, says it right here, quote for quote, DAZN also understands that there are other opportunities for Joshua with other broadcasters. Okay? Says it right here in the article. I'm not lying. You guys can open this article that I put in the description box and you can read it for yourselves. All right. I made my point here. Until next time, Beaver's out. Talk to y'all soon. Let me know what you think. Beaver's out. Peace. Have a great day, everyone.